How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the first video on IT access, security, and compliance. Yes, you might wonder, but isn't this part of the enterprise UI development? Yes, it is, and because of that, I have to make this particular section, especially as a way to talk about this way of how now companies are approaching to the network security and access, especially with the rise of cloud computer, where it is very compelling in terms of cost to put all of these business assets, digital assets, on some of these cloud providers, AWS, Azure, and Amazon. There's some, of course, some trade-off of that, because now you are tied to them. You got now this vendor login. Uh, but even though this is something that is very compelling for a lot of company, and also with the rise of this distributed workforce that can be now much more effective at a distance, and that included myself. So, because of that, all right, and as a way to building this enterprise UI development, we need to have a dedicated sections in terms of knowing, at least in theory, and also some sort of nuance of what are the things that we need to handle, especially when we going to build this enterprise UI applications. How we're going to set up this particular systems as a way to make our applications maintainable. That's the end goal of all of this enterprise UI development. Make your code maintainable, so easy to add features or change or migrate or bump up updates, versions. And because of that, we have now several systems that we need to put in place. So first is the testing, and then is the build system, and also the static analysis. And for the static analysis and the testing, there is some other courses and videos that I have in my YouTube channel where I talk about that. But here is about the build process, especially when you're using GitHub Actions or you're using GitHub as a way to now make all of this continuous integration, continuous delivery weekly. So from the definition of the problems, understand the problems, and then you're going to now plan and write the code that is going to be merged into this huge gigantic code base that is going to pass through the build and the test process or workflows as a way to see that your change actually won't break the application and pass all the tests, to generate an artifact that is being used for the staging environment, which is now the continuous delivery, as a way to see if that actually works with closed data, with production grade data, right? And if it is, then you deploy that, can operate on that. You have perhaps some beta users, some tested users, that kind of thing. And then you now monitoring that as a way to see what's going on after you made all of these changes, or after you add a feature, or after you fix a bug. So in that case, right, with using the GitHub Actions, the workflows, and understand what is the value proposition of this particular value proposition of this workflow, especially with this CI/CD process, and how now GitHub actually provides this particular way. GitLab provides another particular way of doing that, but both of them actually aims to the goal, which is makes the code maintainable and easy to integrate codes, build, test, and deploy it. So deploy and monitor it. Okay, so good. That's good. So especially as you now define this build process, you need to put some sort of constraints and security measures for any company. So any decent sized company must have implemented this set of security policies in compliance, right? So because of that, the goal of today's video, and in this particular course that I'm making here, is to understand the conceptual aspects of access, security, and compliance in the world of cloud computing, right? So my understanding is they challenge how was security before. Okay, that's why we have now something like Castle and Moat. Okay, Castle-and-Moat. So thanks here to Cloudflare, Castle-and-Moat. All right. Okay, Castle-and-Moat. It is a security model. Okay, it is a network security model. Okay, it is a network security model in which no one it's a security model in which no one outside the network is access to get in. Okay, no one is access to get in, or is able to access, is able, exactly. Nowhere in the outside of the work is able to access data, but once inside, but everyone inside can. Okay, but everyone inside the network can, right? So organizations that use this model heavily utilize organizations that use this model heavily utilize organizations that use this model heavily utilize research to defend their network, to defend the network perimeter, to defend the network perimeter, right? To defend the network perimeter, just like in a castle. So, just like in a castle. Okay, so just like in a castle. Just like in a castle. What is this? Yeah, just like in a castle. They place the most guard near the drawbridge. Just like in a castle, they deploy the most of their guards near the drawbridge, near the moat, or the drawbridge. It's near the drawbridge. What in the F is a drawbridge? Drawbridge. What? Oh, drawbridge. Interesting. They call like that. Oh, crap. Oh my god. The drawbridge. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. The drawbridge at the fort of Ponta da Bandeira in Lagos, Portugal. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, the drawbridge. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, that's how they call this. All right. So, el puente del levadizo de la mujer in Argentina. Let me put it here. The woman's drawbridge. Okay. Woman's drawbridge es el puente levadizo en Argentina. I'm not sure is this. I don't think. The question is, I don't think that bridge actually is movable, the kind of thing. Woman bridge. Oh, it's a rotating footbridge. Oh, it's different. It's a rotating footbridge. It's a rotating footbridge. Love locks besides el puente de la mujer. Plastic wood. Plastic wood. Well, in any case, but this is now a this is not a drawbridge in that sense, okay? It's a lateral bridge, you know. It's a lateral, which rotates 90 degrees exactly. It's a rotation bridge. It's a rotation bridge. Well, quite. It's not the same. It's not the same. Oh, so that is a drawbridge. Interesting. Okay, so organizations use this model heavily. Organizations use this model heavily. Exactly. Organizations that use this model heavily utilize to defend the network perimeters, and they put all of this research, much like in the castle, where they deploy most of the guards near at the bridge. The problem is, so they deploy firewalls, intrusion detection systems. So they deploy firewall, network intrusion detection systems, or intrusion detection system, network intrusion detection systems, network intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, IPS, but they are not effective at stopping internal attacks. But they are not effective at stopping internal attacks. Okay. Okay, exactly. But they're not. So once an attacker gain access, now it can inject malware. It can inject malware on the network or into the network. It can inject malware into network resources, exploit. Now it can inject malware into network research, exploit system vulnerabilities. A good example of that is Node. A good example of that is Node. Perform social engineering attacks. Exactly. Or carrying out social engineering. What the? In social engineer. What the heck? Engineering attacks. Exactly. Carrying out social engineering attacks. Exploit system vulnerability. Carrying out social engineering attacks. So inject malware, stealing credentials. Among other things, right? And the problem is that so the cost is high. The cost is high once it gets through, right? There is a very interesting podcast. There is a very interesting podcast from Joe Rogan, and the CEO. I think is founder of CEO. Is that the CEO of Signal, right? But I think it's the founder of Signal. Exactly. Of course, this is a pseudonym. The non-profit Signal Foundation. The non-profit Signal Foundation, bro. What the French services? Centralized computing architecture and in a cross-platform software. It is developed by the non-profit Signal Foundation and its subsidiary Signal Messenger LLC. Of the Red Phone encrypted voice calling app. A startup company co-founded by security research Moxley Marlinspike. That's interesting. Used by Signal, WhatsApp, Google Message, Facebook Messenger, and Skype. That's pretty fucked up. These were applications that provide end-to-end encrypted message, man. SSL stripping. A middleman in the tag. But in any case, okay. Master Marine. And sail around the Bahamas. Hold fast. God damn. Okay. What? Holy moly, oh my god, this is the rabbit hole.
That there are only 3, they could turn out one entire sailboat a day. Pearson thought he could make money, not by marketing to these people, but select boats growing barnacles at the harbor entrance are abandoned, and even the ones for sale are cheap. I ended up having to sleep on a nearby rooftop, but I mention one particular incident, which is probably representative of our entire endeavor. As Lisa held her feet. Occasionally, Lisa...
What the fuck with this guy?
I need to zoom out.
and set against us, through a narrow passage made narrower by... Sail... an anchor. Other people...
Tangle. Always a tangle. Untangle.
So finding and catching food is really the way to go. In my opinion, the most effective way to catch food is to get in the water. The plane.
Okay, that was interesting. Okay. Come back. That okay. I just mentioned exactly. So there is a very interesting podcast from Joe Rogan of the CEO of, or the founder, okay, and the founder of Jesus signal, right, about the strategies. Yeah, so Joe Rogan, yeah, Joe Rogan, and Moxie, Marlin Spike. That, of course, this is a pseudonym for it, you know. Security here. Let me see here. Not sure. What lead the creation of signal? Exactly, is this one? I think it's this. We can talk about is this strategy.
The Joe Rogan experience.
There's like fundamentally there's two ways to think about security. One is like computer security, this idea that we'll somehow make computers secure. We'll put information on the computers and then we'll prevent other people from accessing those computers. And that is like a losing strategy that...
That is like a losing strategy. According to him, this security research, okay? The founder of Signal about the security strategy, right? About the security strategies. About the security strategy. You can take a look at that, right? All right, good. About the security strategy, good. So, okay, that we we're now where we can think of this in simple terms, okay, like computer accessing computer, computer access, okay. A very interesting topic here that he mentioned, right?
One is like computer security, this idea that we'll somehow make computers secure. We'll put information on the computers and then we'll prevent this idea that we'll somehow make computers secure. We'll put one is like computer security, this idea that we'll somehow make computers secure. We'll put information on the computers and then we'll prevent other people from accessing those computers. And that is like a losing strategy.
So computer security in terms of access. Okay, computer security in terms of access. And then computer security in terms of encryption. Right? So one of the things that prevent access of this computer that has been shown like a losing strategy according to his experience, and the other is encryptions, where now you actually secure the message that you're going to send, and if you have now the particular key to decode that, then you can read that message. So because how is access control managed in a Castle-and-Moat? That's a very interesting thing to learn about it. So how does the Castle-and-Moat differ from zero trust security? Right? So you can have this. Say how Castle-and-Moat differs. Differ from zero trust policy, zero trust security. All right, it's like trust no one. Okay, in terms of what they're gonna do once they act, so is that they Zero trust security is a philosophy that for how and when users are allowed to access security system. Unlike the Castle-and-Moat, zero trust security model assumes that security risks are present both inside and outside the network. Nothing inside the network is trust by default, hence the name zero trust. Okay, so the zero trust model, or the zero trust security model, all right. Okay, so the zero trust security models assume or is a philosophy that is a philosophy for how. It's a philosophy for how and when users can have access to data. Unlike Castle-and-Moat and Moat, unlike Castle-and-Moat, yes, zero trust security assumed. So zero trust security assumes that security risk can happen outside and inside. Okay, that's the whole point of this. So nothing inside of the network is trust by default. So nothing inside of the network, or nothing inside is trust by default. And I'm definitely gonna do this. Even for my life. So zero trust security requires strict verification for every user and device on the network before granting the access. So it requires exactly. So zero trust security. So zero trust security requires strict verification about how and when users access to the data. All right, it's strict with T. Okay, so far so good. Now, so this is now a philosophy unlike the Castle-and-Moat, which is the idea of now somehow we're gonna secure computers here in a way that putting all of these guards, similar like a castle, all right, with the vast majority or the most of your guards you put then close to the drawbridge. The thing here is that this is just to prevent access, so we ensure that we don't trust anything outside of that. But once someone can get in, cross the moat, then we don't have anything to do that. Okay, and the cost is high once you get through. You know, so the cost is high once it gets through. Right, so the cost is high once it gets through. This is that's why they have, for example, like firewalls and intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention systems. But this is not effective for internal attacks, right? Well, once the attackers get in, they can not only steal credentials or exploit security vulnerabilities, perhaps carry out social engineering attacks, so they now can assume, or they now actually show in a particular way, or send message in a or emails in a particular way that the CTO or any of these high rank profiles can actually send a message to actually now compromise their credentials. That, hey, I need your credentials to actually get me access to this because we are now passing through a security risk. We are already suffering an attack. And then you, of course, well, because of this change of hierarchy, because of this rank, well, you actually have to. So this, unlike the zero trust policy, where this philosophy is for how and when users can have access to your data, so it assumes that that the security risk can happen not only outside but also inside. All right. Now it requires very strict verifications of how and when users can have access to, right? So how access control manages in a Castle-and-Moat model. So one way organization control access when using the Castle-and-Moat model is virtual private network, or VPN. So VPN set up an encrypted connection between the connected users, often working remotely, and a VPN server. So for certain level of access, a user has to connect to at least one VPN. Once connected, they can have access the resource they need. Since different users with the same company often require different access privilege, IT teams set up multiple VPNs. Each VPN can be thought as its own castle, providing a different level of access. There are few drawbacks to such approach. Vulnerability to attack. A VPN attack a single point of failure for the application of data it protects, and it only once compromised account a device for an attacker. So slower performance. VPN encrypted all traffic, which can add slightly amount of latency to the network. Depending on the type of encryption used, compare IPsec versus SSL. For remote employees, a VPN routes all traffic through the VPN server, which can be far away from the employee, slowing network traffic down further. And the scalability. If your VPN uses exceeds the VPN server's capacity to handle traffic, the server has to be upgraded. A labor-intensive task. And the other is the maintenance. VPNs require a lot of time and resources to maintain. IT teams must install the right VPN clients on every remote employee computers. Ensure employees are keeping the software up to date and upgrade or replace VPN hardware regularly. So how does access control work in zero trust architecture? So this is now how does it work, right? So the way how it works is okay. So how it access control manage. Okay, so how access control. Okay, how is access control managed? How is access control managed by the Castle-and-Moat, right? The Castle-and-Moat. Well, so one way is that organizations set up a VPN. Okay, set up a VPN, virtual private networks, and set up an encrypted connection between users, right? Set up a VPN, a virtual private network. They actually have a link to this. A virtual private network is an internet security service that allows users to access the internet through as they were connected to a private network. This encrypted internet communication is well providing a strong degree of anonymity. Some of these most common reasons people use VPN are to protect against snooping on public Wi-Fi or circumvent internet censorship, or to connect to a business internal network for the purpose of remote work. So, but the point of this, right, of this VPN, the trombone effect. Okay. So one way to organize this is that organization set up a VPN, right? So VPNs set up a encrypted connection with the user. Set up an encrypted connection with the user, right? So often working remotely. Exactly. An encrypted connection with the users. So once they are connected, they can access to the VPN. Once they are connected, they can access to the resource they need, right? Some of the drawback of this, some drawbacks are well, vulnerability to attack, vulnerability to attacks. All right. The other is a slower performance due to the encryption. Slower performance. Right. Slower performance due to encryption connections. And they can slightly add latency to the network. And if you imagine that a VPN route, and if you can imagine that a VPN routes encrypt all of this, so it is make scalability quite expensive, because when the VPN server capacity exceeds, you need to upgrade that. And the other is the maintenance. And the other is maintenance, right? VPNs require a lot of time and resources to maintain. IT team must be installed the right VP clients, exactly, because the IT must be. So IT must maintain the right VP client, the right VP client on every remote computers, and ensuring keeping the software up to date. This is one of the drawbacks of this, right? Makes sense. This is one of the drawbacks. So how does access control work in zero trust architecture? Glad you asked. And moving from Castle-and-Moat to zero trust, SASE. And here's what we're describing is this. So Castle-and-Moat, how Castle-and-Moat is. Exactly. And now, well, how does access control work in zero trust architectures? How does access control work in a zero trust architecture? In a zero trust architecture, right? So now they have basic principles. So it follows basic principles, right? So say principles, right? Principles. One of them is continuous monitoring, which is something that they don't have. This continuous monitoring. No, they don't have this. Exactly. Continuous monitoring and validation. Continuous monitoring. Exactly. How does access control work in a zero trust architecture? It follows a couple principles that continuous monitoring here, like this. Continuous monitoring. Exactly. Continuous monitoring and validation. Continuous monitoring and validation. The list privilege. Jesus. Idiot. List privilege. Okay. Privilege. Privilege. Oh my god. List privilege. Jesus. List privilege. List privilege. Device access control. So device access control, and then it segmentation, followed by the multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. Okay, this is now the couple things that we need to learn here as a way to understand is now the subtle difference between them. Okay. Okay. And then we got this. All right. So the other is that moving from Castle-and-Moat to zero trust model. Aware of the shortcoming of the Castle-and-Moat model, many organizations are adopting the zero trust architecture. While initially such a move was fairly complex, today many vendors offer streamlined zero trust solution that can be turned on quickly. Cloudflare Zero Trust in one such network security solution. But rather than adopting a separate access management solution, many organizations want zero trust security built into their network, not just a layer on top of it. Gatner, a global research and advisory firm, has termed this trend Secure Access Service Edge. It makes a lot of sense. Okay. Moving from Castle-and-Moat. Moving from Castle-and-Moat to zero trust. SASE. A business demand. Amazing. Many organizations want zero trust security built into the network, not just a layer on top of it. Moving from Castle-and-Moat to zero trust. Okay. An organization demand. An organization demand. Okay. Okay, from Castle-and-Moat, from Castle-and-Moat to SASE. Okay, from Castle-and-Moat to zero trust. Zero trust model. Exactly, from Castle-and-Moat to zero trust model. An organization security demand. Okay. Okay, interesting. An organization security demand. So aware of such shortcoming. Okay. Aware of the shortcoming of Castle. Interesting. Castle-and-Moat. All right. Aware of the shortcoming of Castle-and-Moat, many organizations are adopting this zero trust. Okay, this zero trust model. Okay, man. Aware of the shortcoming of Castle-and-Moat, many organizations are adopting the zero trust model. That's quite interesting. Exactly. While initially it was very complex, now Cloudflare provides this kind of thing. Today, many vendors offer streamlined zero trust solutions. Today, well, initially it was very complex. Today, many cloud-based solutions, or many vendors. Today, many vendors offer this cloud-based zero trust solutions. Cloudflare is one of them. Like Cloudflare. Okay. Like Cloudflare is one of such network security solutions. DDoS protection, one as a service, firewall as a service, and everything is a fucking service, bro. Zero trust access. That makes a ton of sense. Today, many vendors offer these cloud-based zero trust solutions like Cloudflare. Many organizations want to secure their network with many organizations want to secure their network with many organizations want to natively secure their network with zero trust model rather than adding a layer to it. Gartner, a North American, exact. So Gartner, a global research and advisory firm, a global research and advisory firm. Gartner, a global research and advisory firm, has termed this trend. Has termed or has coined this terms known as SASE. Secure Access Service Edge. Cloudflare 1 is one example of the zero trust security built in. Cloudflare named in 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrants for single vendor SASE. Forrester, Cloudflare is strong performing in the Forrester Wave TM Security Service Edge solution. Cloudflare named a leader in 2023 IDC MarketScape for Zero Trust Network Access. And you have Network as a Service. Cloudflare 1 service. And there are networking. And on ramps. Clientless access app connector. One and that kind of thing. Zero trust network access. Cloud access security broker. Secure gateway. Firewall as a service. And one as a service. Theme song. Okay, my God. All right. Okay. Holy moly, bro. Holy moly, bro. Holy moly, bro. That makes a ton of sense. All right. And that makes a ton of sense for this. Okay. So this is Castle-and-Moat, right? Then we look at the compliance and policies as a way to have, and then we look at the zero trust model, a component of the SASE. Okay. And then you get now is this zero trust security model. Exactly. Which is a term coined by analysts at Forrester Research. Interesting. Forrester Research. Mhm. Founded in 1983. That's quite interesting. Mhm. 41 years ago. Oh my god, it has more years than I do. Jesus. Oh my god. The Professional Automation Report. And this is public. Stock. Yeah, Denver is a huge bubble, bro. There is a huge bubble here with Forrester. Jesus. Oh my god, bro. SAP Integration Suite delivered 3.45% ROI, boosting efficiency and granted economy gains for customers. The total economy impact of IBM Open, Microsoft Sentinel, Australia digital economy forecast to grow by a third in 5 years. Okay. God damn it. It's devaluated. Ooh, my god. It's been devaluated vastly, bro. Ooh, a lot of people actually get out of their money there. Oh crap. Anyway, so yeah, it's this one. And then you say what SASE is, which is an architecture model that combines network connectivity and network security, right? So why is this? Because of the need, exactly. Why? Because now the compelling cost of cloud-based service and the compelling cost of cloud service, the demands of organizations for a better security model, and the rise of distributed workforce, since they can be much more effective at a distance. Now vendors, as a way to provide a solution for companies. Now vendors, as a way to provide solution for companies, Gatner, a global consulting firm in research, a global consulting and research firm, okay, based on this trend, based on this organization trends, define it as SASE. This is it. That makes a lot of sense. And it implements zero trust policy. And it implements zero trust policies. Exactly. Zero trust security model from SASE, which is, as the name suggests, is a philosophy, okay, as the name suggests, is a philosophy that assumes security risks can happen inside and outside. So this model is for control how and when users get access to system data. So what are the principles? Okay, so what are the principles of zero trust security model? Okay. And then we need to look is that because this is a network security and access, that's what we have now is that kind of thing. Identity access management in single sign-on, right? That's what we have now, identity access management. Zero trust policy and authentications, bro. So that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.